from Student Services here. Today we are just outside of Monterey in Seaside and Marina to talk about some different affordable housing options for commuting students. Seaside is a large town to the east of Monterey, and it includes a small shopping area of Sand City. Marina is a smaller town located further north along Highway 1. The majority of housing in Seaside can be found between Highway 1 and General Jim Moore Boulevard. In Marina, most people live around Reservation Road, often between Del Monte Boulevard and Bayer Drive. Both of these towns consist mainly of small to medium houses and apartment complexes. Unlike the Rocky Hills of Monterey and Pacific Grove, Seaside and Marina tend to have more sandy features. The advantage of living in one of these towns is that the rent prices will be lower than in Monterey or Pacific Grove. It will also be easier to find accommodation with 3 or more rooms if you have a family or are looking to live with roommates. The average rent is as follows. House shares or room rentals are typically $600 to $800. Studio apartments run between $800 and $1,000. One-bedroom apartments are around $900 to $1,400, and 2 bedrooms range from $1,400 and $1,700. And 3-bedroom houses and apartments start at $1,800 and go up from there. In comparison to Monterey, there are 2 trade-offs for these lower rent rates. The first is that parts of Seaside and most of Marina are more prone to fog and clouds than central Monterey. Second, you will have to commute to the Institute. If you do not have a car, this will mean either taking the bus or cycling. And while both towns are connected to the Monterey Bay Recreational Trail, meaning that you can cycle without worrying about automotive traffic, it should be noted that your trip times will be considerable. For example, a bike ride from the center of Seaside, such as the corner of Broadway Avenue and Noche Buena Street, will take at least 30 minutes to reach the Institute. If you were to start from the south of Del Monte Boulevard in Marina, the ride would take a minimum of 45 minutes and involve considerable elevation changes. If you will have a car, free street parking is plentiful in both towns. You will also find that driveways, carports, and even dedicated garages are included with many rentals. However, you should be aware that traffic on Highway 1 can be extremely heavy between 7:30 and 8 a.m. If you have morning classes, you will need to plan accordingly. Despite these trade-offs, many students say that the other advantage of renting in Marina or Seaside instead of Monterey is the sense of being off campus. By living in the immediate area around the Institute, some students feel like they never truly leave the school. You should also be aware that all of the housing in this area is more than a mile away from the Institute and is therefore eligible for a free student parking pass. While it is a great idea to start looking for housing prior to your arrival in the area, it may be tempting to rent sight unseen, and we strongly discourage this. It is always best to see the apartment or house you are renting before you commit to a lease or rental agreement. Most landlords prefer a year-long lease. However, it is possible to find month-to-month rentals, and some landlords are more flexible with students. So this concludes our brief introduction to housing options in Seaside and Marina. If you're interested in exploring other areas, be sure to check out our other videos on this YouTube channel.